Hello there. Today we are going to have a look at Ambra, a company from customer staples sector which has been consecutively paying usually growing dividend for 15 years. We are going to understand its business, get to know their products and strategy, try to estimate their growth prospects, check their financials, dividend policy, and more. But first, please do hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and leave a comment about the Polish company that you would like to see analyzed or just one that caught your attention. As I'm just starting the channel, every interaction massively influences my positioning, as well as it boosts my motivation a lot. So, let's get started. In short, Ambra is a leading manufacturer, importer and distributor of wines in Central and Eastern Europe. They operate on four markets: Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia and Romania, though the majority, that is 70% of revenues, are gained in Poland. The share of the Czech Republic and Slovakia together is around 12%, and the Romanian market has approximately 15% of the sales. So in fact, they are an international wine concern and they own majority of shares in a lot of subsidiaries companies. They have quite a lot of their own brands which are very well known, such as Chin Chin, Dorato, Alsol, Fresco, Pliska, Piccolo, and Cydr Lubelski. And I can assure you that though I'm rather not a wine drinker, I prefer beer or whiskey. I know each of these brands very well, and you can see these products on every shelf in each supermarket that you would visit in Poland. The brands mentioned here are quite affordable, and I would say that if an average Polish person who's not a wine connoisseur were to choose a wine for dinner or evening, they would pick one of these. But also Ambra is an owner of Centrum Wina, which means wine center shops, that are distributors of more expensive wines and other premium spirits. They claim to have the biggest selection of wines on the market, and that's probably true. These shops very often can be found in popular shopping malls and make an impression of quality luxurious places. They deliver products to shops, distribution networks and wholesalers, and also to restaurants. Here we can see that they serve more than 1,500 restaurants, and they have 35 wine stores under Centrum Wina brand. Also, what is very nice is that they are an exclusive distributor in Poland for many world-famous wine producers, which gives them a significant moat. They represent 7 out of 11 prestigious wine families associated in the Primum Familia Vini. What also gives them competitive advantage is that the major shareholder is a German company, Schloss Wagenheim, which is an industry leader. It allows them to create a joint purchasing group in terms of wine production materials and technologies, and gives them access to new products from the European market and possibility to use the production capacity of plants in Germany and France. Now let's have a look at Ambra's strategy and goals. They assume that they will reach more than 25% of market share. They aim to focus on their well-known strong brands while developing more distribution channels of premium products. They also want to grow into other categories of spirits such as cider, brandy, and premium vodka. Financials wise, they want to focus on increasing cash flows and consistent growing dividend, which I love to see here. They assume that the consumption of wine in Poland will grow, as it's much less than in other European countries, and that long-term trends such as income increase and education growth will lead people to choose lighter flavor products over traditional alcohol. That's actually a trend that I can see myself. In past, vodka and beer were the most popular alcohols. Now, more and more people tend to drink less, and if they drink, they often choose craft beers, premium whiskies, and also wines. What I can also see myself is that more and more people stick to choosing non-alcohol beers or wines. What's nice, Ambra doesn't just hope that the wine consumption in Poland will grow. They pay attention to popularization of wine drinking culture in Poland. They organize the largest wine event in Poland, I Love Wine Fest, with wine trainings, meetings with sommeliers, etc. One more time, let's have a very quick look at their catalog of products. They own the winery in Zamość city. They have sparkling wine brands such as Michelangelo or Dorato. They have premium vodka such as Bachevsky and Gessler, some party wines such as Chin Chin, premium brandies like Pliska, and a lot of typical, quite cheap, affordable wines like Michelangelo Fresco, Sol, Satterholm. Also, the cider called Cydr Lubelski, which is for sure the most popular cider in Poland, and the very iconic Piccolo brand, which is a sparkling sweet drink, very popular among children on any kind of celebrations. What I like about Ambra is that they base their decisions on research. They say that every year they spend about 1 million zlotys on the market research, which I think is a huge number. Here we can see some statistics about their brand. For example, Pliska is number one brandy in Poland, Dorato being the number one sparkling wine, Piccolo being number one children sweet drink, and Cydrubelski being the most popular cider. If we have a look at their products from a sales perspective, wine makes 68% of the sales, whilst other spirits, soft beverages, cider, etc. makes 32%. And they've got quite a nice distribution of the source of revenue between their brands. The portfolio of their own brands generates over a half of sales revenue. Another good information for Ambra is that the wine market in Poland has been steadily growing over the last years, but what's even better, they've been growing their revenues faster than the market grew. They mention some perspective and risk in upcoming years. One of the main one would be the growing cost of purchasing raw materials, mainly bottles, as well as fuel and energy prices rising, which pose a challenge to the profitability. To overcome this, they gradually increase the prices of their products. The recent high inflation in Poland slowed down the premiumization process in the middle class, but still the portfolio of Ambra is diversified in terms of price segments. So the reduction of premium purchases should boost the income in the cheap segments. Having this in mind and the fact that Polish wine consumption per one inhabitant is one of the lowest in Europe but has been steadily growing, I believe that Ambra has a stable, bright future. And though the past performance doesn't reflect future growth, seeing over 400 return on investment in 10 years gives some level of confidence that company is well managed. Now let's have a look at financials. We'll start with sales revenues. They grew it constantly, though rather slowly. In recent years, the sales accelerated to double digits, which is a positive trend I hope will continue. Scrolling down to the bottom line, the net income, we can see that the trend goes along sales revenues, though it grew much faster than sales, usually in double digits. If we put this data to Excel, the average yearly net income growth in last 5 years is 13.28% and for the 10 years, 14.82%. Now let's check the balance sheet. In recent years, they've kept a moderate amount of cash and short-term investments, and it remained more or less on same level, around 30 million zlotys. They have little long-term debt, but recently took on quite significant amount of short-term debt. Still, the net debt to EBITDA ratio sits slightly above 2, which is still a safe, acceptable number. Their margins are above sector average with around 15% return on equity and around 11% of operating profit margin, which for consumer staples sector is a very good result. Moreover, we can see a slow but constant trend upside. Now let's check the thing that interests me most, the dividends. Ambra, as most Polish stocks, pay a dividend once a year. They started paying dividend in 2004 and paid it for 3 years, then they stopped for 1 year in 2007, and then since 2008 they've been consecutively paying dividend without a cut. If we go back to Excel, we can see that average dividend growth per year starting from 2008 is 4.65, but recently it accelerated, and in the last 5 years it was 10.78. The current starting yield would be around 3.64, which I guess is fine, and what I really like to see here is that their payout ratio is quite low, and in fact it's been getting lower and lower each year, currently sitting around 36%. So the remaining question is it a good time to buy Ambra? Well, now Ambra is sitting at their ATH around 30 zlotys, with the price to book value around 2 and price to earnings around 12. If we have a look at the historical PE ratios, we can see that though it's on its ATH, price to earning ratio is historically one of the lowest, and the price to book value is more or less in line with recent years. Now let's have a look at a few valuation models to estimate the fair value. The discounted cash flow model estimates the fair value around 36.5 zlotys, which is 21% upside from the current price. The PE multiples method shows fair value around more or less current price, and the earnings power value also estimates the fair value around current price. So, though I agree that the fair value is probably a bit higher than the stock price, I always apply a margin of safety to my stocks. I think that Ambra is a great company, not a spectacular grower, but a solid, stable dividend-paying company that will probably do well over the long term, but the current valuation is a bit too high to me. Note, however, that I own the company and I might be biased. That's it about Ambra. Let me know where are you from, and if you ever came across Ambra products, please do not forget to hit that like and subscribe buttons, and have a good day. Remember that I am not a financial advisor nor an economist. The content is strictly educational and informational. You should do your own research, and only you are responsible for your own financial choices.